Guys, we're back. It's time to hang out and talk about production. Hey friends, welcome back to The Production Pastor. If you're new here, The Production Pastor is all about helping you and your team grow as technical artists and disciples of Jesus. A few months back, at the beginning of the coronavirus, I wrote a blog post called Leading Yourself in This Unexpected Season. And in that post, I talk about the importance of leading yourself, and specifically how if we're going to lead others well, we need to make sure that we're taking care of our own emotions, fears, and anxieties, and just processing what's going on within us so that we can lead our teams effectively. And in that post, I also gave 3 questions that I stole from my pastor, who actually stole them from another pastor, to help process the coronavirus and specifically things that were going on as the world was starting to change, as we started doing quarantine and work from home became so popular. Well, here we are a few months into the coronavirus, and even though we've reopened and some people are doing things in public more, there's still just a lot that's happening with coronavirus. And one thing that's sure is we're not going back to normal anytime soon. Just with this has brought so much change yet again. We thought we were going one direction, and now we're changing services at our church, and there's just a lot to think about and a lot to process. And so I was reading this through this blog post again and realized this is actually a great time to talk about this again and use these questions to look back on how the past couple months have been, but then also take a look forward and see where we are now and how things have changed since then. So I'm just going to read through these questions and give a little bit of my own perspective and story over what's happened for me the past couple months, and then challenge you to read these questions aloud for yourself. The first question is, what has the coronavirus taken from you? And this is really a question of lament and to help us grieve the things that we've lost. For me, thankfully, not a whole lot. It's taken away, obviously, the ability to see friends and family, though that's changed a little bit. The biggest thing the coronavirus took from me was my rhythms and routines that I had built up in my life. And to some degree, when we started working from home at the beginning, I really had to rebuild kind of my whole life and my schedule. And so that was just a huge transition for me. The second question is, what has the coronavirus not taken away from you? And this is really a question about gratitude. And for me, I'm thankful it hasn't taken away my job or my wife's job. We both have had to change our jobs and do things very differently, but we're thankful that we still have our jobs and we're still going strong when so many people aren't. And because of that, another thing it hasn't taken away from us is our finances. We've been able to survive and do well and continue moving forward when plenty of other people are struggling. So that's helped me to be grateful in the midst of all the changes that have been happening. The third question is, what has the coronavirus given to you? And this is really a question all about blessing. For me, the coronavirus has actually given me a lot of new opportunities, specifically the ability to learn and try new things. I've been able to take this journey on becoming a video director and learning how our team works together and trying new things in our worship services, which have been a ton of fun. I've also been able to produce a lot more videos for our church, but then even videos like this here that you're watching for The Production Pastor, which has been great. And then my favorite part, which I'm really thankful for because I don't think I would have realized it without this question, is actually going to church. You see, now that we're recording our services early in the week, I actually get to be a part of our regular worship services live and in person when so many people can't. But then because we're pre-recording, I actually get to go to church with my wife. And it's just weird because there's no other season that a tech person like me would ever have the opportunity to actually do both. And so I'm thankful for this question because I don't think I would have ever necessarily seen that if it wasn't for looking through this question and realizing, looking back and seeing, I'm actually going to church and doing my job at the same time. And that's just been a huge blessing to me. This week, my challenge for you is to answer these questions for yourself. I will drop them in the description below so you can read them or copy and paste them into your journal. But I hope that you, as you answer these, try not to think of them as homework or anything, but actually use them as a tool to help care for your soul. You see, the coronavirus is not over. We're not heading back to normal anytime soon. We still have a long way to go. And through that, we must continue to seek God and to take care of ourselves and lead ourselves so that we can be faithful to the things God has given us in this unprecedented time in history. So go answer these questions, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next week.